Happy holidays and welcome. It is Friday, December 22nd, 2017, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast 2017 Holiday Special. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me for this beautiful holiday special is Scott Cuthier.
Hello.
And Brian Nobishin Jackson.
Go for Papa Palpatine.
No Tony Horvath right now. He had a family affair. And I'll say, I did try to get, multiple other people on this. I tried to get Evan Wall. Shout out to Evan Wall. He texted me 5 minutes before we were going to start saying, sorry, I can't make it. I tried to get Joe Fate. Joe Fate has work. Previous hosts of Irrational Passions. Maybe make this like a little family get-together. It's all right. We got the three of us here. This is going to be hopefully a shorter show. Going to try and cap us out at about an hour and a half. We're just going to talk about games, not going to be doing any questions or news or anything. It's kind of how we started doing it a couple years ago, and it's been a nice little... Right in the middle of the holiday seasons, it's easy to edit, it's easier to record. So we're just going to roll right into it, and we're going to help incorporate a little bit of bonus content into this as well. Nobishin, how's your holidays going? We're right dead center, mid-holidays, I would say. If you're celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. If you're, I don't know when Kwanzaa is. I've never known when Kwanzaa is. But Merry Kwanzaa, I think that's what everyone says. Merry Christmas this coming Monday.
Weird question. Is there any other Kwanzaa episodes of anything that you've ever seen other than that one Rugrats one with Susie Carmichael?
No.
You see, I didn't even see that one.
I've seen that one. Nobishin, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But no. No. I thought there might be a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Kwanzaa episode. There's not.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. It's one of those things. It's like, excuse my language, I guess, but cuck. I never even heard of cuck before this year. I never even knew that was a fucking thing. And then Kwanzaa wasn't the thing I knew about until that Susie Carmichael episode. So it was I don't things just happen, and I'm just okay. I guess it's always been the thing. I just never knew about it. So
Kwanzaa always gets very referenced. There's the Futurama episode where there's the Kwanzaa clause that flies by.
Kwanzaa bot, yeah.
Kwanzaa bot, yeah, exactly. And it's just it's always a reference, but never gets its own episode except for Rugrats. I don't know, man. It's messed up. I want justice for Kwanzaa. Happy Candle Nights if you're a Bim Bam fan. And we'll be doing our New Year's show next week. So we'll talk about games coming out next year or something. So how's the holidays going, Nobishin?
I've just been mostly sick, honestly.
No,
it's just
sorry.
Yeah, it just never went away, and it still hasn't really gone away because it's a whole it's a whole different lots of things because the house that I'm living in, we haven't had heat until literally just today.
Nice.
So you're coming home, you're working all day, then the house is still cold, so you're pretty much just under the covers the entire time. And trying to sleep through that, you wake up in the morning and your face is cold, but everything else is just fine because you're fine under the covers. And then you got snot and coughing, and it's just I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get into a situation where I was just okay, because I guess I was always just getting too sick every day. And it was a few days ago, I just got to the point where I got so sick I couldn't even finish work all day, so I had to leave work early. It's been a whole thing. But other than that though, it's been fine. I invested into Movie Pass. I found out what's that all about.
It's how'd it go?
It's actually a really decent thing. I used it recently just to watch The Last Jedi, and it was a pretty streamlined experience. It's just just be there and make sure you're actually there, and pay with the card that they give you. You have to wait for the card to come in before you can actually use Movie Pass. That takes about a week. And it's it's pretty easy, and it's it's interesting too because the theater I went to, Cinema Mart, they just now started their subscription thing, but it's $8.99 a month, and you get 20% off your food and drinks there, and but you only get one ticket a month, and Movie Pass is a ticket a day, so it's
It's $10 a month, right?
Yeah. And you don't get the extra perk theaters, you don't get the 3D theaters, which who gives a shit, and You get the very standard theater, but like it's just like matter just like being 100 yards where you're at the theater, going on your app at your phone and checking in, then going to the theater, paying with that card, and then they'll give you the ticket and you're good.
Damn, that sounds all right. I'm thinking about it just because like there were definitely movies that I didn't get to see this year that I really wanted to.
Yeah,
So.
like same here. Like I'm still curious to try to see Blade Runner before it leaves theaters.
Me too.
Like completely. Like it's still at my AMC in the area, but I still need to see the first Blade Runner before I go see that. So that's the whole thing. I want to see Coco, and like 2017 has actually been a really decent year for as far as movies for me. Is like as far as like I actually like seeing different movies, because like when you see superhero movies, you get the same previews like fucking every time, which is like more likely blockbuster stuff like that. Like when I went to go see The Disaster Artist, for instance, like it was just like a whole bunch of trailers for movies I'd never even heard about, like this like what not Nancy Spumoni. God, what's her name?
It'd be great if it was Nancy Spumoni.
What's her name? The girl who was ice skating and hit the girl with the kneecap. Like there's a Margot Robbie movie with her, and
I
I'm
know
like,
what you're talking about. I do not know the name.
yeah, Tanya Hardy. There it is. Yeah. There's a movie about her, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting, and like I wouldn't go see it necessarily, but like. Maybe, and like I have the opportunity to go like after work. What I want to do, I don't know. I'll go see a movie, I guess. So that's an option on the table now. So like I'm actually excited about that.
Yeah, like I missed. I didn't see Dunkirk, which is a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Driver, I wanted to see as well,
Oh yeah.
and Blade Runner and Coco, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll think about it. Might be a worthy investment.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that Star War? We've taken a week off. It's worth noting. So last week, the Star War came out. We took that week off. I was still exporting Extra Life videos, which finished this morning, just for reference. And they're actually like the last batch that are going up today. I have not published yet, so they're all uploaded. I'm going to publish them after we finish this show. But then they'll all be up, and I won't have to worry about them ever again, which is great. I did the Extra Life stuff in a way that I knew would take a little bit longer, but would be easier to kind of clean up afterwards, which is fine. I figured it out.
Yeah, it's like, listen, you got Extra Life out before the year ended.
Exactly.
Which
was my goal.
Which is great.
As opposed to April
Which is
2018. But yeah, it is great, and I'm like, it's been super fun to watch people like retweeting their favorite, like the people that were there retweeting their favorite parts of the show, and so actually it was really good. We did some fucking good shit during that show. That Hot Pepper Nidhogg segment is fucking gold, Scott, and it is still gold, and it's so funny. Like,
that's why we do it.
Cameron and Trevor, like their reactions were amazing. So yeah,
that's how we do it.
exactly. That is why.
Although we're gonna have to change it up next year.
I know we always got to change it up.
Well, no, it's
We gotta go hotter, or
people get used to hot peppers, right?
I feel like they don't if they only do it once
It's a year.
Yeah, but it's a dual-sided thing. We did it 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
A break for 1 year.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it in a different year.
Okay. I like that. We can figure some other. We should.
Yeah, next year we'll get the mouth numbing one.
Yeah, I was thinking we should do the mouth numbing peppers because that would be really funny. Except for all the spit that would be everywhere.
Ugh.
And instead of playing games, we'd have to do the hot takes with those.
Oh yeah. No.
Because those are only funny when you have to talk.
Yep. But yeah, Extra Life is done, and we took last week off. I was finishing that. We usually take 1 week off during the holidays. It was either going to be last week or the week after this one for me personally, but we took that off. The Star War came out. What did you think of the Star War?
Like, it's weird to say because it's like
You're not a huge Star Wars person, right?
Yeah, like as far as like me being a Star Wars fan, I'm like the casual of casual. Like I know more of Star Wars because of the zeitgeist than I have than actually watching the movies. Like I would say like watching like the Robot Chicken specials of Star Wars have educated me more of Star Wars than like I have actually watched those movies. Not to say I haven't seen those movies. I've seen all those movies, and like before the Force Unleashed, like or Force Awakens. I'm sorry. Yeah,
just trying to avoid flaming comments.
Yeah, before the Force Awakens, like I would say, like Return of the Jedi was my favorite Star Wars movie, which is like, you know, it's not Empire Strikes Back, but like that was the one I enjoyed the most when I was younger, and like like I said, I fucking love Force Awakens. It's great, but I can understand like people saying like, oh, is this basically the New Hope again? But like I felt like it was like it's like an entertaining ride for like characters and like. I loved all those characters. I loved everything they showed from beginning to end. I just loved that movie. That movie was really great for me. In The Last Jedi, though I don't think it's a bad movie whatsoever. It's just like there's a lot of like changing for the sake of changing. It feels that like it seems like because like I'm not saying like what they didn't do was interesting as far as like some of the themes and like the stuff they were going with. It's more of like it's like one too many of that. Like if you gave me like 2 or 3, I would have been fine with it. But it was like 10 like changes, like dramatic changes. This is like, okay, like that's a thing. So it's like it's one of those things like, you know, where I thank God that I didn't go like opening night or something like that. Like it's like I said with Star Wars with me, it's like, the movie just came out, spoiled for me right away, so I don't have to like worry about this shit. Like, because I cannot go in the theater with people clapping, people cheering, people crying. I cannot do that. I cannot do it. And like, thankfully, my theater was like mostly empty. Like a couple of kids in there who were like generally jazzed and like to watch that movie, which is like a good feeling. And like there was like probably this like one guy there who was like to try to clap at certain scenes, but no one else was clapping, so he felt awkward and then stopped clapping altogether.
That's the best though.
But like so I saw it in like the most optimal way. But like you know, like cause like I said, like all the characters in the movie, like everyone, like Rose, Ben, Rey, Kylo, like I think all the characters in the movies are fantastic. It's just like the situations I put in is just weird, and it didn't feel as good as I felt about with Force Awakens. So yeah. I'm conflicted.
I'm in a similar boat. I like my thing. I didn't love it. The most upsetting thing for me was I didn't love it. I really wanted to love it. It happens. So that has left me pretty bummed. I totally see why someone would love it, and I totally see why someone would hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's enough like great moments in it that really tie together. It felt like too much like a Marvel movie. It's a weird thing to say, but I think it has a lot of like the kind of go for the joke type things that a Marvel movie would do, and a lot less of the Star Wars-ness of it. But it's also like got some fucking really intense Star Wars in it, like when they're talking about the Force and what that is and how that embodies someone. So like it's all over the map with me. My general consensus is I really like where it leaves off. Like I like where the future of that story can go, but I didn't really love how it got there.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. And like in the general thing I said on Twitter, like I think the way that like would have made like everyone satisfied, they kind of aped the Last Airbender and like made kind of like a Zuko type of thing with Kylo Ren, where it's like, he joins. Well, I can't really say it, but like you know, like he's conflicted. He doesn't know what he wants to be, and like he goes between good and bad, and like him going through that journey would have made a lot more sense to me. Yeah. Not that the thing they're not doing doesn't make sense, because like what they're doing with him, I feel is actually really cool and interesting. Yeah. It's like I said, it's just like it's just a whole lot of stuff that like kind of conflicts with it as well.
Yeah, I will say though, and I'm sure you agree, Mark Hamill's performance was amazing.
Yeah, man, he milked that cow.
He fucking milked it. Drink that cow milk green.
You see,
I love it.
I'm assuming you're using this figuratively, because I haven't seen the movie yet.
No. The best part is no. But yeah, he's very good in that movie. God damn, yeah, very good. True to Luke Skywalker. How's your holiday been, Scott? Get up in anything?
Pretty good. It's been the weirdest holiday.
Okay.
Because like, first and foremost, we are always late to the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree goes up pretty much a week before Christmas.
Yeah.
Almost always.
Mine's gone up this year.
So
which is kind of a
our Christmas tree this year went up almost right after Thanksgiving.
nice. Early bird gets the worm.
But here's another weird thing. It is a fake Christmas tree.
Do you normally do the real tree?
We normally do a real tree.
Okay.
I still don't know why we have a fake Christmas tree.
Is it just as big as a normal tree?
It is a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Which is really weird.
I don't mind the fake tree. I've been doing the fake tree for a little while now. I'm a convert.
I wouldn't mind the fake tree if I didn't have glitter in my room.
You know, that's actually totally fair. Not only does glitter get everywhere, fake pines get everywhere. It's a goddamn disaster.
Well, that's the one thing that's nice about it. We haven't had any of the fake pines break off yet.
Okay, good. If it's a newer one, you're good with that. Okay. So the fake tree, fake holiday, happy Christmas.
Well, no. The other thing is, generally, I'm at this point in time in my shopping, I have gotten everybody but one person a present.
Okay.
And the entire time, I have no idea what I want to get anybody. And I'm just running around picking out shit.
Yeah. That's the way to go. That's how I do it.
Changing my mind. This year, I know what I want to get everybody, but I haven't bought anything.
Let me tell you about Amazon Prime.
Nah, I can just go get it tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. Just be careful. They'll eat you alive out there.
But yeah, that's been Christmas so far.
Okay. Yeah, I have it has been like a poor Christmas in the O'Neill Spangler household. No one has any extra money to get gifts. I'm still getting a couple of things for a couple of people, and the Extra Life team we've done a Secret Santa for 8 of us. So I have a Secret Santa gift, and I thought of exactly what I'm gonna get the person today. I'm very excited about it, actually.
Sonic Forces.
Sonic Forces is the gift that keeps on giving. Fuck, man. I finished that Game Grumps playthrough. That really is just the best part of 2017 for stuff. I'm just excited for our Game of the Year stuff so that we could just listen to the Sonic Forces soundtrack for 30 minutes. Just like right there in the middle at some point. Just because it's so bad. Oh,
I mean, what you could do is you could just have it going forever in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Just like quiet.
Like that is you just put it on low.
It's like,
and then you have to talk over that.
Holding hands, running fast. It's like, what is this happening right now?
And that is the background music to our Game of the Year show. Yeah, that is what we do. And then
Sonic Forces
it turns off when we do music. And then it goes right back on.
Of Game of the Year. There's no Game of the Year without Sonic Forces. God damn. As for me, it's been chill. I was sick yesterday. I've been doing the videos, making the thumbnails, doing all that. Just, I've been sleeping a lot. I don't know. I would say I'm not depressed, but I'm just like, I'm exhausted from work, and as you might imagine, and it has just been very taxing. I'm ready for the holiday part of like where I have to work retail over the holidays. I'm ready for that part to be over. But I'm also excited. Like next week, I'm going to Philadelphia. I'm hanging out with my Bro C boys.
Hey.
John Anderson and Tyler Treese. Going up Wednesday and Thursday. We're doing all the Game of the Year stuff, and I've just been kind of managing that. I haven't been doing any recording myself yet. Until probably next week or the week after. We have to push all of our stuff back a week because things were taking kind of longer to get together, which is fine. And then we all have to record our Game of the Year episodes, and we're going to do our top 10 episode probably the week after next as well. So it's just been like stressing about that. Has been most of my holidays so far, which is normal. But it's fun. I have a good time with it. Let's talk about video games. Because we had a week off. I played some video games. Nabishan played a lot of apparently all the video games.
Yeah, it's weird. You were like, "Oh, I'm gonna finish a game a week," and I'm like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna outdo you." No, it's, for some reason, I played a lot of games.
I have played a game a week though. I will say, at least I stuck with it. Although I don't know if I'm gonna finish Death of the Outsiders. It's not grabbing me the way I wanted to.
Oh, you're breaking Quinn's heart.
Before you guys into it,
Yeah.
get into it. Do you want to hear about Flint Hook?
Yo, Scott, how's
Dude.
Flint Hook going?
Okay, so you know that boss that was extremely difficult to beat?
Did you beat it?
I did it.
Yes.
I cheesed it. Cheesed it real hard.
Hey man, sometimes you
You'd
just
be-
gotta go with the cheese.
You'd be real proud.
I would be.
I'm gonna explain it to you.
Sure.
So there's a small platform that you can stand on right under where the boss does his laser when he's vulnerable. Because the first section is so easy and it's the other two that are difficult,
Okay.
the first section you generally don't take damage on, so you're good there. The second and third ones are the problem, and the fourth one is also really easy because he stops doing his laser and he just becomes one of the. Did you ever fight the kind of octopus / squid guys who just rolled around and shot 3 shots?
Yes.
Okay, he just basically turns into one of those guys.
Okay.
As his last phase. So that one's extremely easy to do because all you have to do is use your slow motion to dodge the 3 shots and wait for him to come into firing range. So how I ended up doing this is because that platform is right under where he is, if you equip 2 long shots, you are within range to hit him.
Nice.
That being said, I picked up Midas Power, I think it's called, which every 500 gold you have on you, you do an extra 2 damage. I racked up 2,500 gold as I went in, so I was doing an extra damage for a maximum of 20. I also picked up the helmet and the fighting helmet, and the perk that allowed you to that doubles its duration.
Nice.
So with this, I clear the first phase, no problem. I clear the second phase with some difficulty, but I don't die to it. And then on that third phase, I don't worry about clearing any of the hooks, and I wall jump in a corner until he starts doing the laser. Then I jump down to the platform and use the bell, and I just shoot straight up at him.
I like this.
So because I do so much damage, it lasts long enough so that I'm invulnerable through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I pretty much completely skip the difficult part of doing this.
Nice. And then the fourth phase is just easy.
I clear it out in one phase, and then of course, fourth phase is pretty easy.
That's awesome. This is some like pro level strats right here.
These scrub level strats, pro level strats.
Yeah, they'd be like flipping around the boss, not taking any damage, slowing time just for 2 shots. Yeah.
So the interesting part comes right after this, because up until this point, Rogue Legacy, sorry, not Rogue, Flint Hook has been a very odd sort of roguelike game.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas instead of going through and then having to tackle all the bosses at once in a level and then slowly getting more powerful, you were tackling one boss one level at a time.
Yeah.
However, for this last one, that changes.
Oh, okay.
You have to go through 12 stages,
Jesus.
and every 3 stages there's a boss until you get to the final boss.
Okay. And that's like the big guy that they've been
Yep.
alluding to. Damn, that's cool. How far have you
And
gotten in that?
I've gotten up to stage 6. Actually, no, I think I'm pretty sure I hit up to stage 8.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that. So you know how when the difficulty level was set at 3, and if you had a danger room, there was almost no way to not take damage.
Yeah.
It gets 10 times worse when the danger rating is level 7,
Great.
and you have no option but to take a level 7.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you're pretty perked out by that point.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of the ones that would help so much end up taking so much CP that it's not. End up taking so many points that it's not worth it.
Okay.
Like, for example, double jump takes 9,
Yeah. That's too.
and you have a max of 10. That's all you can get.
Yeah. So but those can drop in the levels though. So
They can, but like I've never seen double jump drop in the level. I've never seen a bunch of the more helpful, even though cheaper ones drop in the level.
yeah.
It's always been perks that are between 1 and 3.
Yeah. I like that you can kind of stack a bunch of those together though, and
Oh yeah, that's how they're 100% the most useful, because the ones that I've been using is the one that gives you more damage the more money you have,
yeah.
a few to give you more money, a revival one, and then one that gives me 10 health every level.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's the way to do it then. I gotta play more Flint Hook. Have you been
It
playing?
is really good.
It's really good. Have you been playing anything else, Scott?
Nothing of note, no.
Okay.
That's why I jumped in first.
I got you. How we want to do this now, Option? I got questions for your list. I did video games. I did less video games than you. If you want, I can knock them out.
Do what you want, baby.
Let's talk about PubG. So you played PubG. I played PubG.
Yeah, because that came out.
Played a lot of PubG. It's on 1.0 for Scott. It is fucking broken for Option. So I'll say this: I played a lot of PubG. I played like 20 hours in the last week, which was more than I thought I would play. I played with also just the widest assortment of people that I've played a game with this year.
Yeah, you did.
I played with Joseph Fate. I played with him last night. He's doing well. He says hi, everybody. I played with Sean Pitts. I think I played the most with Sean.
And you're playing this on console, right?
I'm playing it on Xbox, yes.
All right.
I played with NATO, played with Griffin, played with Alex Van Aken, a couple of Alex's friends. Played with, I think there's one other person. Can't think off the top of my head, but played with a whole bunch of people. Very different experiences with them. I'll say I really love playing squads. Playing with 4 people and just having a good time is really, really fun. And playing kind of carefully with one other person in duo is really fun. I don't know how much you've played, Nobishin.
I played one match and that was it.
Nice. What does it feel as the person that has watched so much PUBG this year to now play a little bit of PUBG?
It's weird to say that because like I don't feel I'm playing it in the best of states with the right controls of it right now, especially because like sure I'm versed in PUBG. I know certain tactics, close the door behind you and listen for footsteps, make sure you have headphones on when you play that game and stuff like that. So like I know like the basics of it, but it was like. I feel like the transition to control was just something that they just hastily did and like didn't really optimize for a controller. It's just like some things are in this weird spots and it's just like it's a little just too cumbersome just to remember everything you need to do for PUBG, or to play at least to play that game with Xbox One controller.
Maybe yeah, because I'm guessing loot dragging is difficult.
It's not too bad.
Probably the worst thing is just making a marker, because you have to like open up your map and then like begrudgingly just like move your stick
cursor,
yeah, to where you want to mark it to. So that's like the worst of it. Everything else is pretty much fine. But like like when you're on the ground, it's straight up PUBG, and it's great for what that is. Uh, like the issue I was having was like it was rubber banding a lot. Um,
Yup.
yeah, so
Yeah, yeah, that's something that's that's something that's going to be a tough fix for them.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's just like and that was like yeah, I'll play this one match and I'll enjoy it, but like this is something I can't like come back to for like a good while, and like I know that because like I do regard PUBG highly for all the hours I've watched of it, and like what have I enjoyed from that game. And like just seeing it on the X is not the best presentation for it for me personally. But like it's not like I'm willing to wait for it because I know it could get better. And I know because I know where it goes to. I know how great that is, and so like it's more of like I'll just wait for the better experience. So like I'll just table it for now. But I still think it's still playable. I should mention that too. Like it's playable on the system. It's like as soon as you get on the ground and like everything is settled as far as that, then it's like pretty much PUBG just at 30 frames per second. And like that experience is still good. It's still PUBG, but like it's not the optimal way that you want to like play that game.
Yeah. It's I haven't played a lot of it, like, and it's weird because I played like the Fortnite knockoff PUBG as well, and like this was just so much. It was immediately more enjoyable for me, and I think it's just because like the Fortnite parts of the Fortnite PUBG were not great. Where it's like also hold this button to switch between your building UI, and I'm like no, but yeah, it is. There's like a weird learning curve with the controller. There's weird stuff about it, but it is just so intensely enjoyable. It's nice to have been able to play this game this year and kind of get it. I'll say because I've watched Scott and Tony play it. I watched the McElroy brothers play it on the Polygon channel, which was really really fun. I watched. I've listened now because I'm starting to catch up on Giant Bomb stuff. I've listened to at least 4 discrete PUBG conversations, which has been super fun to hear. But being in it is a different thing, and I totally get it now too. I don't know if you've played any 1.0 now that it's gone live, Scott. But
I have, and let me tell you about vaulting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
vaulting's great.
Vaulting is pretty good. The big issue is the first map was not designed with vaulting in mind. So that creates, and especially for somebody who's played so long without it, it is a bigger learning curve now to play the game than when I first started. And that's it. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Than if I were to start now.
Okay. It's weird because the Xbox version just has vaulting.
Yeah. Then it came out with vaulting, so that is something that you guys are going to immediately think of better than everybody who's been playing for a while.
Yeah. But I played a lot with Sean, and he's played a lot on PC, so he kind of knows both sides of it. But what do you think of the desert map?
Not a huge fan.
Okay.
The big thing about it is it's not so much that how open it is, but rather it is distance versus the gun drops that you get.
Got it. Yeah.
You are given a ton of shotguns in that map.
Yeah, but
the map is
massive.
More open. There is scopes are miles better on that map than on the original, and they are far less common. But because several people are, it's almost guaranteed that several people are going to have them. It gives them that much more of the advantage on that map.
That's cool. I get that.
It wouldn't be so bad if you didn't feel it almost every time.
Yeah.
So it is even more important on that map to spawn in a good area than on the previous one.
Yeah. They announced like a third map recently as well.
Nice.
I forget what it is, but it sounded cool when somebody was telling me about it. It might not have been announced. It might have leaked, but either way, that's cool. See them kind of continue to roll out content. It's also, say what you will, but it's a 1.0 game. Does it feel like way more polished than it did at launch? I'm curious for you, Scott.
No.
Got it. Okay.
It looks like they're trying to get there.
Okay.
But it doesn't feel any more polished because they haven't fixed most of the gameplay mishap issues.
I'm gonna ask you just to.
They've added more shine, but shine doesn't cover cracks.
True. Would you, Scott, consider PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds one of the 10 best games that came out in 2017?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be on my list.
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking about that. I had a very aggressive conversation with Sean Pitts where he was just saying, if you don't think PUBG is one of the 10 best games of the year, you're fucking crazy.
I mean, it's a first-person shooter. If you're not into first-person shooters, it shouldn't be on your list.
Yeah. I would say for me, we can't. I would not feel comfortable putting it on my list because I've only played this broke-ass version of it, but I'm comfortable putting it on it. Like, let's say a general list that represents a website or a podcast.
Yeah.
PUBG is very good. I don't know if you have anything else to add. I'm sure.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
No, there's nothing really. As far as like the enhancements, as far as like Xbox One X on 4K TV, like the HDR looks nice. It's still like you know what? Never mind, because like it's nothing even worth talking about the visuals because like it's still rough. Like it's just rough all around.
That's a rough looking game.
Yeah.
I played to completion all of Pyre. I feel like I haven't even talked about this game on the show.
No. Yeah. No.
Pyre's very, very good. I've gone back and forth on it a little bit. When I finished it, I was like, all right, whatever. But
Sure.
but after I been thinking about it, man, that game is there are reasons why I'm whatever on it. So, I've talked about Pyre when I previewed it over a year ago, almost 2 years ago now. But it's very cool. It is it's a Super Giant Games game, so very different, very art based. It is part visual novel and Oregon Trail kind of binary choices that'll affect the group of people that you're with, and it's also part basketball or Rocket League video game, sports game. The gameplay part of it is this sport and called The Right, and the rights are 3 characters. You can only control 1 character at a time. Only 1 character can move at a time. You have to take an orb and dunk it in the opponent's pyre until the opponent's pyre's health is reduced to 0. Depending on which character dunks it affects how much damage it does to the pyre. So bigger characters that move slower will do more damage, but they move slower, etc., etc. So the thing is, across the entire gameplay of Pyre, paid maybe 22 rights or 25 rights or whatever, you can lose all of the rights. You don't have to win any of the rights, and the game will keep going, right? It's just going to affect the outcome of your story, which is really, really, really cool after you kind of get to this point where you understand what the thrust of the end game is. It's about the halfway point. And I don't want to spoil too much, but that game changes a lot right at the middle in a very cool way. It's very surprising. It was kind of cool, not expecting that at all. But the idea is you're performing these rites at the hopes of possibly gaining freedom from this underworld. I forget what it's called, but it's the Badlands or whatever. And you were sent down this river that is immovable. You can't return up it to these lands and you want to return to the Commonwealth, like this other world. They kind of imply that they're almost two separate dimensions, but it's a lot of very cool implications. I really like it. The thing that frustrated me the most, like, I ran into a lot of performance issues with it, which fucked me up on a couple of rights, which apparently is not a common thing, so, you know, that can happen. But another thing is, like, when I lost 3 rights in the total play of my game, and one of them was one that really, really mattered. I don't want to say how, per se, but, like, there are some rights that matter way, way more. And I was so fucking pissed. Like, I kept going, but boy, like, and I was like, I felt what, you know, the characters might have felt, of like this feeling of fucking failure is so aggravating. And I mean, like, it's both a good and a bad thing, though. Like, it really evoked that feeling in me, and it taught me a lot about how I can play, and the meshes of, like, there are like 8 different characters that you have, or 9, and you have to, the way they play with one another is very important. Like, if you have 3 really slow characters together, you're going to have a tougher time against 3 really fast characters, or really aggressive characters. So it taught me a lot. So, like, having had a week to kind of stew on it, I put it in more high regard. It's very cool. Like, the way the story plays out is so cool. We'll probably talk about it at some point during Game of the Year. But yeah, it's very much like I've not played a game quite like it before. So ultimately, I think I really like it, but it was just, like, so frustrating at the time. But both a good and a bad thing. It's really rad. I don't know what else. I think you would really like it, Nabashin, because of the visual novel aspects of it. But I'm, like, never gonna recommend a visual novel to you again. So we're like, I don't know. I think there are parts of it you would really dig. I don't know where you're at with Supergiant games though.
Weirdly, I guess they're kind of like Zelda games where, like, I play them, I enjoy them, but I never finish them.
Got it.
That was like Bastion. That was definitely Transistor. So yeah.
Yeah. You tweeted me also. Maybe someday I'll play Transistor now. Maybe. I'm glad I played Pyre. Jarrett really likes Pyre, I'll say, and he was the one that said I should play it. And it'll probably.
So it's a visual novel?
It is part visual novel, part
Okay.
Sportsball. Like the most of the narrative is conveyed to you through, like, a visual novel setup, but it is very westernized. And it kind of plays with that idea. Also, weird thing is it, like, uses a Destiny style cursor throughout it. It's like that, and Assassin's Creed Origins use that Destiny cursor system. It's weird. It's very good though. I liked it a lot. I would recommend it. Now that I've had some space to kind of get over my frustrations, I wish I didn't run into as many performance issues. But I bet if you have a PlayStation 4 Pro, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I played Okami HD came out. Everyone should go buy Okami HD.
Bought it.
Nope.
Just so there might be a chance. I was like, I'm playing it. I'm like thinking about, like, what a sequel could be for that game. I'm like, fuck.
Okami Den.
No. I want to play Okami Den, but maybe someday. I've continued playing Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. It's not grabbing me, which is a bummer. I like it. It's not like there's anything wrong with it. It's just not what I guess it's not what I'm in the mood for right now.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, I was talking about some of the controls were weird for me last week, or the powers were. I found out, like, so you have this ability where it freezes time, and you can kind of, like, leave your body and, like, scope out the area and mark enemies and stuff. But you can also, in that time, place a marker that you can teleport to, as long as it's not too far. So that kind of meshing of your, like, place a marker and teleport to it power kind of alleviates a lot of the issues I said 2 weeks ago when I talked about it last. But yeah, it's not grabbing me. I'm still on, like, the first major mission, taking my sweet time with it, but
I need to finish the game, don't I? Dishonored 2, the regular version.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I thought you did finish it.
Yeah,
I got extremely close.
yeah, you were so fucking close.
and then I dropped it.
You should finish it. You should just.
I believe I dropped it when I moved out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did.
It's worth finishing. Definitely the Outsider is very good as well. I wish it was grabbing me, but I think like that's all I want to play for this year, like new game wise. I mean, there's stuff that I do want to play, but I'm like ready to kind of just go back on my laurels and play some comfort food games.
Beat Okami again.
Beat Okami again. Play the Breath of the Wild DLC. Play a little bit more Final Fantasy 15. Now that all the DLC things are out. My friends came over. That they live out of town, but these were friends that I started a playthrough of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles with 4 years ago, and we booted that bad boy back up again.
Hell yeah.
And we were like, man, we played 30 hours of this game together over the course of 4 years, and we were talking, and we were like at the point where we can finish the game, and we're like, maybe we should finish this game this holiday. And I'm like, the prospect of finishing that game with like this GameCube game that uses GBASP tables.
The game's great.
The game is great in the year of our Lord 2017. It's so awesome to me. Because I played that game mostly single player the first time I finished it.
It's so much different when you do it multiplayer.
It is super different.
It's a whole lot better.
It is a whole lot better for sure. And we like, yeah, it's just like 30 hours in. And I was like, man. We named our city, because you can name your town. By default, it's Tipa. We named it Heffa. And we forgot about that. So it's just like, oh yeah, we're fucking rocking back on Heffa. I said I put some videos out on Twitter just like going back to that game. It's been maybe like 18 months since we picked it up last. And we were just so excited to get back into it. So I might finish that game as well. I'm trying to think. I think that's all the bigs. Oh, I got Destiny 2 DLC. I talked about that. I bought it again on Xbox. I said I wouldn't, and I did. And apparently no one wants to play with me on Xbox now, so I'm just playing by myself on Xbox.
Is that your fault, or is that Bungie's?
It's Bungie's, apparently. But I'm having a great time, and if anyone wants to come crawling back to me on Xbox One, I would love to play Destiny 2 with you.
You can't get your boy NATO on?
I could probably get him. He bought Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh wow!
Predator deal. I know, weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that Predator DLC that they put out, and I was like, man, fuck you, NATO. I didn't say that. We played PubG together a whole bunch, and we got chicken dinner. So NATO and I, my first duos match ever was me and NATO, and we got chicken dinner.
Oh yeah,
nice.
that was that. Yeah,
that was my first chicken dinner.
Yeah,
ever.
it was.
I still have not gotten a solo, but Griffin, NATO, Sean, and I got a chicken dinner, squads, and then Yusef McGee is another person I played PUBG with. Yusef, NATO, Sean, and I also got another chicken dinner, but it was just NATO and Sean alive when they won, so it didn't count as much. But that's 3. I'll take that, you know. But what have you been playing, Malmshin? You got a whole bunch on this list.
Yeah.
We can kind of focus in on whatever you want to talk about. It's up to you, man.
Okay. Let me just do the quick fire ones first.
Sure.
More Mario Odyssey. Just a little under 700 moons now. Still haven't done the in-game stuff like the darker side of the moon or the darker side of the moon yet. That's because I just want to get as many moons as I can before I do that. Because once I do that, I'll probably be done with the game. But I'm still just enjoying it just for what I'm enjoying it for. Beat Sonic Mania again for like the second time. This time with Tails, and now I'm going through with Knuckles. So that game's so fun. I still enjoy the game immensely. Other games like Gravity Rush 2, fired that bad boy up again, and like remembered how much I really enjoyed that game. Actually, I'm trying to get the platinum before they shut off the servers. Not that I need it anymore, just because I already have all the dusty coins I need. That requires to be online to actually do that type of stuff. But like I just want to do it. So like, yeah, I plan on platinum in that game eventually. This is a whole side quest I just didn't get a chance to because there was a weird bug with my transition to a PlayStation Pro, where I couldn't enter photo mode for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, and like that prevented me from actually doing like a couple side missions. You had to enter photo mode to do that. And like the fix was to actually like just reformat the whole PS4 and just re-download everything again. I didn't want to do that at that time, and like I beat the game, and then it's like, oh, I should do that. So it's been fixed. I fixed it like months ago, but like yeah, this is something I have to like catch up on because like there's so many like side quests I have to do in that game. But still enjoy that. Yakuza Kiwami, went back to did a little bit more of that. Yeah, like I still enjoy that game. I still feel like Yakuza Kiwami doesn't touch Zero as far as like how good it is. Good story. But like gameplay and like fucking everything else is in Zero. That's why I still recommend people, if you want to play or get into Yakuza, play Zero first, then Kiwami, and then the rest, and that'll be the way to play those games. We already mentioned PlayerUnknown's. Went a little bit back to Breath of the Wild, just to like catch up on things like I haven't really or just to re-experience things like where I was, and like I was trying to remember where I was at in Breath of the Wild, and when I started, I was like, oh yeah, I was in the ninja base near the desert.
Oh yeah.
And I had to do the stealth mission to get into it, and like with the bananas and stuff, and like I don't know why I was struggling with that because I still haven't beaten that part yet. But like for some reason, like I spent like over an hour just like trying to like stealth my way through it the way I wanted to do it, and like it just wasn't working the way I wanted it to do it because like leave the bananas there, they go after the bananas, you take them out, and that's it. For some reason, like it just wasn't going the way I want to after like trying for an hour, so I was just like, forget it. I'll still go back to that game eventually. I still want to beat it, but like it'll take time.
Take your sweet time, man.
You see, it's the best when it takes time, but you keep going back to it.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's that kind of game.
I totally agree. Horizon Zero Dawn, I went back to that game a little bit. Which is like it's still just weird just to go back to that game after like playing something like Zelda, because it's like it's more constrained and stuff like that. But like and like that was another game like, oh, I forgot how this plays and whatever. But like it was once I got into like a boss section, and like like then that's where like that combat in that game really shined, and like how you want to like aim with your arrows and dodge at the same time, and like know their weaknesses, like get their craft the right stuff to do the weaknesses and shoot the arrow with that. I was like, yeah, that's some real satisfying combat. I don't know where I'm at with that story though. Unfortunately, that's not clicking with me with that. Or not the way I want to, at least, because it's like it's not necessarily like a whole bunch of audio logs, but like because you have people who do the exposition about it, but like it's just all like there's a lot of stuff. It's like stuff to take in, and like I don't know. I'll eventually get back to it. That is another slow burn one that I'm definitely not going to beat this year, but like I guess I'll appreciate for what it is. I think that's all the ones I didn't beat. Yeah, those are all the ones I haven't beaten yet. Okay. And just like the stuff with Night in the Woods, they did an update with that, so there's a whole new scene. So like that's another excuse to replay that game again. I already beat it 4 times, and I'm probably beat the game before the end of the year just because I enjoyed that game that much. And like it's not like an easy feat to go through that game like multiple times either. It's like I was thinking it's at least like 8 hours. And that's if you're not trying to do everything. But like since we got new content, that means I have to go through everything again. So like, cause I want to see all the new stuff. So like, I'm talking to everybody again, and like, just enjoying that again. And some of the new stuff is real cool too. Just like not necessarily like life changing or like it changes mechanics or something like that. But it's like more people to talk to. Like, oh, I get to know more about May's grandpa, who's like a figure that's talked about a lot in that game, and like it's mostly just talked about in the beginning, but not later on in the game. And then you meet this woman who's actually a friend of his, and like, oh, you get to know a little bit more of his past. So like, that's a cool thing. Yeah, I love that game. That game's great. Games I fucking beat. I beat Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. That's a good game.
Is
It's a good game, but
Here we
like the issue is like if I were to say like I feel like Uncharted 4 is like a great like evolution of like the Uncharted series from like going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and like and I feel like that those 4 games are like great for what they are. And like Lost Legacy, as great as it is, it feels like if it was keeping the same like themes and tropes from Uncharted 3 and just making another sequel from that. Like if Amy Hennig was still making an Uncharted game, which is like still a compliment. I'm not saying this is like disparagingly or anything like that, but like if she made another game in like the same vein as 3, more or less, like that is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, and it's a fun game for that, and like for that too, because like it's fun. Like you playing as Chloe and like with Nadine at the same time, like that's a really great dynamic, and like how they develop as friends is just like a really cool. Just like going to see how that all evolves and whatnot. There is an aspect of that game that I do not like because it feels like, oh man, like you didn't have to do that. Just to like, this could have been their own thing, but you're bringing this part of it, which is like just wasn't really necessary. Not that it's bad, but it's just like I just wish they didn't put it in there. So, but you know, it's fine. But like, yeah, that game's real great. I enjoyed that game a lot.
I gotta finish that. I have like 3 hours left. I should go finish it.
Do you know what I'm talking about then?
I don't.
Okay.
I got to the part, there's like a big elephant statue, and then like they go to the top of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right after that. It's
Okay.
after that. It's after that. Okay. I'm just trying to remember where it was at.
Yeah, I'm like, did I miss it? Okay.
I played Final Fantasy 15, episode Ignis.
Episode Ignis. I follow someone on Twitter and Instagram, someone I know from like old podcasts that I used to listen to, that is the biggest Ignis fan, and she was very excited about this. I just want you to know that before you like possibly tear it to shreds, but I'm here for you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure. Like the other Final Fantasy DLCs, like it just doesn't. It's just a weird departure because you could tell that game is made for Noctis in the way that he controls, and then it's like they're shoehorning this other like gameplay system into it, and it's like it's not necessarily bad, but it sure as hell isn't good. So it was just like a middling thing that you're doing to go through it, and like the main story of it is like your typical Final Fantasy affair, or typical Final Fantasy 15 affair. That's how things goes. And in the end, it ended really nice. I would say for that main playthrough, it ended really solidly, reminding you how that game ends, and like if you like that the way that game ended, like it reminds you why you like that game for that reason. However,
Okay.
that there's an alternate path that can happen in that game, which is like super fucking interesting, and it's actually fascinating because like it not that it fixes a lot of stuff, but it's something. It's interesting. Like I was saying, and I really enjoyed that alternate side. It was like, oh, okay, that's like a good alternate take to it. So it's like,
is that
okay,
something that's easy to access?
oh yeah, it's just like being the main part of Ignis story. Then it's like you could go back to that part again, and just like there's a choice you can make, and you'll actually have a second choice to make at that point. So,
That's
so
curious.
yeah, so it's actually really cool, and like I said, after doing that DLC, I would say, oh yeah, definitely out of the 3, Ignis is definitely the best boy out of the 3 of them, like just hands down.
Do you feel, this is without spoiling anything, I don't know why, but this is where we're at. Without spoiling anything, do you feel better about the situation that results in with Ignis?
Like in general,
like in that second story.
It's 100% justified.
Okay.
Either option that you pick, like, is justified. It's justified, and like I said, it makes you like Ignis like 10 times more. Like, it's not like I didn't like Ignis at all, because I liked Ignis a lot, but it's like like
Empathize with him more.
Yeah, like totally, like what he is, what he stands for, kind of like the it's dumb to bring it up again, but like kind of the brotherhood stuff that was in the anime, and like why he's the way he is. Like they brought it more into the actual game, and like you can see it now. And it's like when it's in the game, it's like, oh, you get the context. So it's like everything makes sense, everything flows well, and like you can see why Ignis is the person that he is and why he makes the sacrifices that he does. So yeah, I really enjoyed that actually. I enjoyed the concept of it more than I like the actual execution of it.
Okay.
I guess you could say.
I'm really excited to play it.
Yeah, out of all of them, that's the best one, honestly.
I was kind of waiting on going too far into Final Fantasy 15 for that to come out, so that way I could have all those breakouts kind of available to me once I get to that half of the story. So now it is available. I'm excited to kind of go through and see all those.
For sure. Other than that, there's another game I didn't beat on here, but I played a lot of actually like the last 2 days as Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Finally went back to that game. That game's really, really good.
It's really good, right?
Yeah, I kind of like forgotten it, and like it was funny too, cause like I went back to my old save. I'm like, I don't remember how to play this game at all, so I went back to the beginning of that game, and I forgot how good the beginning of that game is. Like the first hour of that game is just like really just like something else.
Dude, man, imagine playing it in VR. Oh, dog. It's very good.
Yeah, it's really good, and like
I gotta play that DLC, that post game DLC.
And like going back to where it was, like like usually I can only play horror games with with Mark and Katie around, because like if I have someone around me, it's fine. I can't really do it by myself, and that still kind of is the case. But like Easy Allies have a full playthrough of that, so like I was kind of like watching what was happening as they were playing it, so like I know what's coming, so it's like there's no like real anxiety because I know what's happening. So like also, kind of a cheat, but not really.
Yeah, but like what you got to do to get through those kinds of games. Like, I get you.
Yeah.
No judgment from me, is what I'll say. But I will say the first time one of the monsters shows up that you have to fight, like just the standard enemies, I flip the fuck out.
Yeah.
That is something I don't know if I could handle in VR. So, yeah, it's that game's great. I need to just pick it up and play a little bit, just to remind myself how much I like it. Although it was great I did Andrew Taylor has been doing, for his show Private Chats, he's been doing like top 5 games of the year with a bunch of folks. I did mine with him Wednesday. It's good to just talk about Tales of Berseria again. And just be like, fuck, yeah, this game was so good.
I honestly thought you'd forgotten about the game.
Absolutely
at this point.
Not.
Okay, good.
I think it's still in my top 5. So.
Oh shit, great. That's awesome.
Yeah, that game is fucking so good. I was like, also I'm like getting my list ready, and it's like top 3 locked and loaded, bottom 7. I don't know. They can be whatever order. No, I mean like I do care, but it's like organizing those is gonna be a fucking nightmare.
For sure.
It's less competitive to get in my 10 than I thought if I really sit down and think about the games that like left me with something. So.
Other than that,
a couple on here, I think left. 2 left. Right?
Oh yeah, 2 left. Life is Strange Before the Storm. I finished that today. Not today. I finished that yesterday or day before, whatever. But like all 3 episodes out, fully completed. I really enjoyed that ride. It was really good.
That's what I've heard mostly, is that Logan is the only person that's been a little bit more down on it. I know he's only played the first episode though.
Yeah. Like episode 3 is definitely like the weakest of them, I would say, of the ones that just came out. Because there's only 3 episodes for this one. But like it's still interesting, and it's still like because you can only do so much with a prequel, and it's like like because you know where it's going, and like you already know who these characters are, and like I once again picked like I guess the unpopular decision, or not probably the canon way they wanted me to do it, because like at least that's what it seemed like, because they're kind of like, hey, you should probably do this way. I'm like, fuck that, it's this way obviously, because fuck that shit. But I still enjoyed that for what it was, and like it gave me like a satisfying ending for that, because like that's the way I wanted it. And I felt was the right way as far as like doing right by Chloe and Rachel by doing it that way. Didn't get completely what I wanted because I guess I fucked up as far as like a conversation. But like it still ended pretty great, honestly. And like I think they do a great job as far as like depicting like Rachel's and Chloe's relationship. Yeah. In a big way. Like especially like there are scenes in like episode 2 and episode 1 where it's like you're really just vibing off each other and it feels really good. Episode 3 you get that too. Not as much though because like stuff happens. And you have to like end that game, so like there's a reason why is that. And like but like the criticism I have is like just certain characters like kind of being shoehorned into it, and it's like they just don't fit to where they're at in that story, and it's like another obstacle just to be an obstacle, and it's like not really relevant. But other than that though, like I feel like it ended really strongly, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay. I should play that. I only have the first episode. I have to get on that.
Yeah.
All right.
And like yeah, and like the last thing I really played was Doki Doki Literature Club.
You finally played it. Give me. We don't.
Please tell me you still hate it. Please.
We don't have to get into it, but how did you feel about it? Do you still hate it?
Did I say hate?
You said
you didn't say hate.
You didn't say it. You said you
did not.
Oh yeah, hate is a little bit too strong. But I'm not a fan of that game though. I will say that. And
Great.
I'm
happy. Thank you.
And it's more of like the issues I brought up before, and like it just like kind of got amplified by the end of it. Of like these aren't characters; these are just tropes. Mm-hmm. And like, and like the thing that really like irks me about it is like when they did have the one character moment in that game, which was like really good, they immediately take it away from you, and it's like, oh well, and then like the cool stuff in that game is cool, it's really cool, but like
here's the worst part of it. They don't just immediately take it away from you; they go and they cheapen it as well.
Yeah.
I think they do, yeah. That's where I've been so conflicted on it is like they illustrate the symptoms of this thing very well,
and
then like they kind of undermine all of that, and I don't know how I feel about it. And the same with like the next round where they're like talking about another self-destructive thing, and they kind of lean into it, and then they kind of pull the rug out from under it, and I don't think I like that. Like, yeah. I feel like they go. It's there's too much shock and awe.
Yeah.
And it kind of cheapens it.
And I feel like the cool stuff in that game, like the later stuff in that game, is like really cool. Is cool as shit. But like, I feel like other games have done it better. Undertale's done it better, and I feel Danganronpa's done it better, and Zero Escape has done it better. Whereas like subverting the player. And
it's the cool stuff that it does. It's not the first time it's done it. It's that they don't even do it well. The cool stuff they do, it's not even done well.
I like the stuff that I think about that is cool in that game is like the writing that uses foreshadowing really well.
I heavily disagree.
I like the foreshadowing in that game.
Their foreshadowing is so heavy-handed that it's stupid.
Yeah, but like it's foreshadowing one thing and then it shows you another.
No.
Yes,
no, it doesn't.
It does, and it like where it goes with like the one specific character that kind of takes control of things, and I want to believe, like I'm very curious to see if like that like if going through and deleting certain other things like has an effect on what you see, like even if it's just like a one-off kind of like Nier's Automata's like other joke endings, like if it has like some kind of payoff in that regard. But like, you know, I don't disagree that other things have done it better, and especially like thinking about Danganronpa and how it includes the player. But like, I My big thing is, and the reason that game kind of left me really uncomfortable was like, it uses, I'll say spoiler warning for this because I just want to say that right. Uses depression and self harm in a way that I don't think is respectful to those actual things. In the grand scheme of things, I think when it's like leading up to like this character is like depressed and like these are really classic symptoms and like whether you notice them or not is kind of reflective of you as the player. And it's like, oh, this is actually really interesting. And then like the rug gets pulled out from under you, but then it's like, oh, reset. And that kind of undermines the poignancy of.
Well, that's only the half of it as well. It's not just that it gets pulled out from under you that way, but it gets pulled out from under you in the fact that you don't know if they were depressed or not.
Yeah,
you don't know. They take that away from you as well.
Yeah, and that's the other part of it is just like. This character says like, I made them more depressed, and it's like, what does that mean? And yeah, it would have been better if those things would like actually been organic parts of those characters, and they weren't.
It's one of those things where it's like, and that's why I said it's like a weird personal thing with me, but it feels this way. It feels like one of those things where it's like you're trying to be smart and when you're really not. And like I know we've all been in situations where we feel that way, and like I feel shitty for like being that guy, but that's what it feels like. It feels like it's.
I agree with
you.
you.
That's my exact problem with it, because the other thing about the thing about these characters being tropes is from somebody who doesn't really touch this sort of stuff. That's not immediately obvious to me. That really only comes from people who I guess consume this type of content a lot. And I'm not just talking about dating sims. I'm talking about I don't touch anime that does this either, and I'm pretty sure I've seen a bunch of talks where that has the same sort of problem.
Yeah.
Wherein like I don't do that a lot. So I can see where people are saying that it does that come from, because I've also heard that it's been a problem. But at the same time, it's not obvious to somebody who's seen it, but not a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it should be for it to be considered a very good implementation of it. It should be fairly obvious to me that the tropes is just what they were.
Yeah, I think like the making the poetries and like the word association was supposed to kind of make that more obvious, but I don't think that works for everyone though.
It doesn't. It's just ambiguous.
Yeah.
It's boring and ambiguous.
I'm glad that you played it, Nabashin.
I am too.
I'm glad that you have like a full opinion on it. But that's where I'm at.
I'm unhappy that everybody got roped into it.
I mean, I don't want to take away from people who actually enjoy that game. A lot of people enjoy that game. It just like
that's healthy.
Yeah, I know. But it's just like for a person who actually enjoy these type of games and like have experienced better things where it talks about depressions and or that I'm sorry, I'm feeling like I'm being assholeish when I say this, and I don't want to be. But
I think at this point it deserves it.
I think you deserve the benefit of the doubt, though, Nabashin. Also,
that is.
Go ahead, Nabashin.
I just want to come across as like, hey, if you like it, good for you, and like, check out these other stuff as well. Cause like, check out Undertale. Check out like experience that the genocide thing. Like that's a perfect example for me. Like the genocide run for Undertale. Like I didn't like that. But like I acknowledge that was a great thing for that game if you want to do that in that game. Yeah. But this is just like this trying to do the same thing, but just not as good. And that's where I leave off of it.
I think like that's like the strengths of Undertale too, is because like you have a choice in that game, and like they really give you such satisfaction on either end of it, of like making you feel like the worst or making you feel like really great and that you had a great journey. Where you don't have a choice in this game, so in Doki Doki Literature Club, it's just a linear story, and that takes a lot away from it. So I don't dislike it as much as Scott, but I think like ultimately I'm disheartened by it. Like I feel like it goes for cheap thrills, and I don't know if it
Fucking
respects...
wasn't worth what I paid for it.
But yeah, thank you for playing it, Option.
Yeah, for sure. And that's everything I've been playing.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I forgot something, but here we are. I should I finish Horizon, Option? I don't know where you're at with that game.
I don't know where I'm at with that game. Like it's definitely something I'm not going to finish before the end of this year. I could just tell you that, but like I don't know.
I could maybe finish it as a thing, but I don't know.
I just don't want Tony to be alone on that island, and like because
Yeah,
he's enthusiastic about that game.
Yeah.
Or at least I think he is. Like I know he likes it, but like I don't know how much he
I
likes it.
think it'll end up being on his list, but rather low. And considering that the only reason that it's getting passed up is because Zelda's everyone's more favorite game, I don't think it's a far shoot to have it lower on the list.
He really likes the story in that game. He's been very outspoken in saying like the story really resonated with him, but he agrees with the general criticism that game didn't have to be an open world game. So
Right.
which most games don't have to be, actually, it turns out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just curious. I want to know what the story is. Really, is a big part of it. So I liked what I had seen a little bit of it. So, and I really like Aloy.
Did I mention that I beat Hellblade?
You did. You mentioned that last episode.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
okay.
you didn't mention that you beat it. Actually, you had gotten to the challenges. So you have since beaten Hellblade.
Yes.
What do you
Yes.
think?
Oh, Hellblade is fantastic. That's one of my games. It's one of my top 10s to do. Like it fucking kicked me in the teeth as how good that shit was.
I know, it's so good, right?
And like I said, in like another game that deals with like mental health issues, and you got fucking Ducky
In
Ducky
such
Winter
a
Club.
good way.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Hellblade's fucking so good, y'all. That's my number 3 of the year. I'm gonna just throw it out there, and I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, I'm so glad that you dug that game. I just like there's this whole chunk where there's no combat at all, and you're like, man, I was worried this game was gonna be samey, but it's totally not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the puzzles in that game too, and it's like just short enough that they don't overstay their welcome. I know some people don't like the symbols, but whatever. And the part with the shadow monster, that's so good.
The shadow shit is like the best part of that game for me.
So good.
Well, that and the ending, obviously, but like,
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's all great. I'm so glad that you like that game. Shout out to Ninja Theory, man. God, 2 games in a row for me that I've really loved. So, that's it. That's gonna be the show.
What was the last one?
It was DMC Devil May Cry.
Oh, okay.
Which I really liked. I know a lot of people don't.
Yeah, no, I did too.
Yeah. That was a good getting me into that kind of.
Do we know the people who don't like that game?
Cameron Abbott, and that's it.
No, I've
Not even Greg.
Greg loved that game.
Yeah, he likes that game a lot.
Yeah, you see, as personally the biggest Devil May Cry that I think I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can trust his opinion about it.
Yeah. I think he wants them to continue. Like the rumors they're going to be doing Devil May Cry 5 and just continuing on. But I know he did not dislike DMC though. That's a show. We got a tweet from Jarrett Green at Jarrett John on Twitter that was a picture of geisha whole oysters in water in a can. And
Jarrett, why?
His question was, on a scale of Tom Hanks to Benicio del Toro, how sketchy is this? That is full on Benicio del Toro, my friend.
Okay, so as somebody who does that,
Yeah?
Yes.
Cans,
0.
Oysters? 0. It's not sketchy.
no, that is normal.
Okay. But why?
But
They're
why?
whole oysters in a can. And George Cruz sent us a tweet that just says Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I don't know what he means by that, but that's all I got. He used the hashtag, so I had to say it. Thank you, everyone, for listening throughout the year. I hope everyone's having a happy holiday, no matter whatever you celebrate. Even if you don't celebrate anything, from us to you, I hope it has been great. So a couple of things to lay out. So we're going to be doing a normal podcast next Friday. And then the week after that, Monday through Friday, we should be posting. Initially, we were going to be posting this coming Monday through Friday, written top 10s from guest contributors, writers, video games people, game developers, and games critics alike. That's actually going to be the first week of January. And then that Friday, we are going to record Irrational Passion's top 10 games of 2017. So my top 10, Scott's top 10, Tony's top 10, and Albushin's top 10 of the year. And that'll just be a numbered podcast that goes out and will go up the following Tuesday. That following week, I believe, is the plan. We are going to be putting out our 10 conversations about 10 games that we really liked from 2017. And we have a ton of guests doing those, and they should be really cool. Fingers crossed. A couple have been recorded already, and they went very well, apparently. And then the week after that, the third week of January, will be our 5-day Game of the Year extravaganza. 4 podcasters, 5 episodes, 1 show, no survivors. So look forward to that. And then the week after that, we will be getting on with 2018 and whatever magic that leaves us to do. I don't know. Words. So thank you all so much for listening. Thank you, Scott and Amshin, for joining me. Tony couldn't be here, as we said at the beginning of the show. He had a family thing, but he sends his holiday greetings and love, as does Evan Wall and Joseph Fate, even though I tried to get them on the show and they couldn't come on. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for opening music of 2-Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. He has a little holiday song that y'all should go listen to, dannywiesner.bandcamp.com. And he's great. And you should support him because he's great and he lets us use his music, and I love him very much. That's it. That's the show, right?
Sure.
We did a offhand bets like in our text thread for last week about where
Battlefront.
This is just me bragging also. Where Battlefront would be on the NPDs. And Namashin, you said what, like 7?
7.
Scott said 10, and Tony said it wouldn't be in the top 10. I said 2. It was number 2. Got it right on the money. I was just very proud of myself because that's like probably the only time I'll ever get a bet right on it.
I'm disappointed in people.
Hey, I felt like, man, Star Wars is still gonna sell, and it still did, which is a bummer. But I think that game did underperform compared to the first Battlefront.
Oh yeah, it totally did.
So, hopefully EA takes fucking notice.
I think the real
they needed a harder hit than that.
I think we will really tell when the December NPDs are out, and
If it's even on the list at all, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that game was like marked down for sale though right away.
Yeah, dude.
Digitally too.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, like there was probably a big spike and then it just dropped, is my guess. And EA was like, "Let's get that on sale."
Basically, it's everybody who already put the money out didn't cancel got it.
Yep. Or everybody who just didn't know, and
then
everyone
for the
else.
people who are waiting on news,
Yeah,
it's not touching it.
Yeah, not touching it.
Final word, Alex.
Video games are great. Everyone go buy Okami, please. I want them to make another one. And Kamiya said he might do it. He would do it if Capcom let him do it. Come on, guys. I believe.
Oh, okay. With that context, it's on PC. I could do it. I'm pretty sure it's on sale. I could do it.
Yeah, you can do it. Kamiya said he might make another one. It would make me happy. That's all I got. Thank you all so much. Oh,
weird side thing. I just wanted to ask real fast.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about PSX? The presentation.
Man.
Because y'all didn't talk about that.
I
fell asleep on it, honestly.
I went to bed. Like, I didn't even stay up for the Greg stuff, which was the best part about it. But I don't know. Like, I feel like it was fine for. They did try and ease our expectations at least.
That just didn't seem like something that should have been live streamed.
Yeah, it seemed like fine for the people that were there, but it didn't be live.
That was a panel. I don't think that was something
that was a panel.
Yeah, to be showcased like that.
I don't know, Medieval. I'm a big fan of Medieval, so.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine.
You're one more year away from Tone Buff coming out.
Get the dreams of your dreams, man. It's coming back. Dude, if they fucking announce a Tombo remake, I would lose my fucking mind. On camera. All right, that's it. Thank you all
Tomba
so much for
remake.
listening.
No. Tomba 7.
Tomba 7. We skipped 3 through 6. We're making the real Tomba sequel.
Yep, they were all canceled.
Yeah. Little do I know. All right, that's it. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a happy holidays, everyone. We love you all. Hopefully, we can bring in the new year with some New Year joy next week. Sending good vibes. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Nabishin, for joining me. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your game. Stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
Titles.
Scott, you got to do this. Tony's not here.
I did that thing where I didn't open the doc again.
Sorry, I sent it in the chat, so you don't have to go searching for it.
That's not Hangouts. Yay!
Yay!
All right, titles. Justice for Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa?
People
Kwanzaa.
get used to hot peppers, right?
Yeah.
And yes, I understand that I did not say that right.
You're fine.
Mark Hamill sure does milk it. Rocking back on Heffa. Bayonetta 3. Tomba 7.
Now, those are going to be our mentions every week from here on out. Yo, justice for Kwanzaa, though.
We could.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm liking Mark Hamill sure does milk it.
I like that, too.
I like that too.
That or Rocking Back on Heffa. Not a whole lot of titles here, but the ones we got are real good.
They're good ones. They're bangers. Heffa? We could do Mark Hamill sure does milk it. Get in the Star Wars spirit. I'll say the number, you say the title, Namishin. How about that?
Sure.
You're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 358.
Mark Hamill sure does milk it.
That's it. You can stop recording now. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a happy holidays.
Bye.